Hello and welcome. On this episode of Abby Normal Garage, we get back to our 314 Hydro snow tractor build. Abby, are you excited for part 2? Yeah! Yeah! Okay. Well, here we are. The first step in our process here is going to be to remove these legs. Now these are stripped out and bent and they need attention. They're real easy to remove. All we got to do is remove this one bolt right here and this leg should come right off. Like so. Here we have both pieces off. As you can see, this is bent. It's also bent that way as well, so we'll straighten that out. Same thing with this one. It's bent up. These are stripped out at the top so they don't tighten up right. Now our tractor has the 96 and up floor pans, and it has this slant at the edge. The older tractors don't have that. I don't feel like these are actually long enough to get over that slant before they have to tighten up. So we're going to go ahead and extend these out a little bit so they can get a better grab on these 96. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is take these out. This side actually came out pretty easy. Easier said than done. Oh my gosh. Okay, little pink hammers for you and me. More resilient than you think for just 1/8 inch steel. I'd say that's a monumental improvement. Let's go ahead and do the other side. When I went to take the bolt out of the other side, it was stripped out and wouldn't come out. So we just decided to cut it real quick. And with a little work with our punch, it should pop right out. Just like that. Now I noticed when this was on the tractor that this corner right here was hitting one of the pins for the floor mat. So what we're going to do is we'll trim that up. Then we're going to go ahead and extend it with this bar stock here. So let's go ahead and get that cut first. It was about this far in the editing process that I decided to make this more of a montage of cutting the steel, getting it on the fabrication table, welding it up. The goal was to illustrate the process that we went through to complete these tasks without making a long format video. Here we got to try out our ND filters. They shield a lot of the brightness of the weld, but I still think they need to be darker, so we'll keep looking for other options. If you'd like to see long format fabrication videos, let us know in the comments. Okay, so off camera I decided to weld the top extension pieces on. And then I ran a bead of weld down the back side of both pieces. This one I did just 2 semi-straight lines. Try to keep it from bending. This one I got excited about the coming struggle and did a V or an A, depending on how you want to look at it. So we're moving right along. Now we got to drill a hole and weld the nuts on there. Okay, we went ahead and grounded the zinc off our nuts. We bolted it through there to hold it while we weld it. And we're going to go ahead and weld it real quick. Ooh. Didn't turn out bad. Okay, let's go weld the other one up. We are apparently lacking the 5/16 bolts to install them right now, but we went ahead and test fit them before we painted them. Looks like they're going to fit just fine. We're going to go ahead and paint these, and hopefully Tractor Supply will be open, considering it's New Year's Eve. You think Tractor Supply is open? You think so? Maybe? We'll have to go see. I think that's a no. We might be SOL for this moment. Abby, what you got there? I've been tearing up the garage all day trying to find these. Apparently these are our cab hinges, sent by the original tractor cab. And Abby's been hanging on to them all this time. What do you think, Abby? You think we're changing all four? So if you look, this one's bent, this one's missing, and we'll go ahead and walk to the other side. This top one's pretty bent up too. Can't see it on the back side of the door. We went ahead and changed all three. Well, let's go ahead and check in with Abby about the paint. What do you think? You think the paint's dry? I think that's a no. It's still kind of tacky, but we're going to put it on anyway. Now that we have the correct one for the correct side, we'll carefully slip it beneath our floor mat. We'll slide it back. I tell you, it's a lot easier when his door wasn't here. Okay. That's reinstalled. Let's change to a 1/2 inch and we'll tighten up our set screw. Look at that. It actually tightens up. Now we'll pull our skin. Snap our plug thread. Look at that. Well, Abby, I think that's a wrap for today. We'll get our workbench cleaned up, tools put away. And we'll celebrate the new year, probably with some drinking and some explosions. Tomorrow I gotta figure out where these springs hook onto, and then we're done with the cab. That may be the end of part 2. I don't know. I kind of would like the fabrication of the wheels for the blower to be their own video, but we'll see. We got our hinges on our doors. They're opening nicely. We got our pieces remounted. Now, this kind of illustrates how far off this cab is. It was used when we got it, and it's got a lot of welds where someone fixed it. But on this side, we're behind that pin on the floor mat. And when you close the door, the edge of the door kind of rubs the tires. Fortunately, we could roll that back and get clearance again, so that's not the end of the world. Come over to this side. It's perfect. This piece is like we intended, where it's notched out to go around the body pin. So, who knows? But it's pretty tweaked up. Hello! We're back in the shop again. This time we got a pretty rare sight. We got our grandfather's 1985 312/8 in here. We got the box tractor. We got the snow tractor. So what we got to do we got that storm coming in on Saturday, so we're going to take the tires with the chains and the weights, put them on the box tractor, because we're going to put the plow on the box tractor. We're going to take the loaded agricultural tires with the weights, put them on the snow tractor, and we're going to take those tires and put them on this tractor. Fortunately, through the magic of YouTube, you don't have to watch all that. We'll be right back. Ding! Tires are done. Now we're just waiting on that axle bracket. We ordered it from Wheel Horse Parts and More. It's a reproduction. Lowell usually never lets us down, so hopefully it comes in time. Let's go ahead and throw the chute on, and we'll wrap this video up. Here we are sitting in the cockpit of this machine. I've already found my first problem. The angling crank for the hits this bar and that bar. So when I was trying to figure out where the springs go on the bottom of the cab, it mentioned a bracket that I think went here that was held on with a clamp, and it allowed the crank to come in through this hole in the cab, which would put it down lower and further back in this spot right here. So we're gonna have to fabricate that, but we're gonna do that on the next episode, part 3 of this tractor. Well, that about wraps up this episode. On the next episode, we'll fabricate the wheels for the plow, the bracket for the crank handle. If you like what you see, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to share it with all your Wheel Horse junkies. And we'll see you on the next episode of Abby Normal Garage.